What's up, guys? Iceman here. So there's been a quarterly update for Diablo 4. As many of you as well, I know, I'm somewhat looking forward to this game. Now, has Blizzard done anything right in the past 4 or 5 years, let's say? I don't know. Why don't you answer that question in the comments below? Now, many of us are, of course, looking forward to Diablo 2 Resurrected. But there are a lot of decent Diablo mods you can play for Diablo 2 that are available right now, with quality of life changes. So there's always that. Project Diablo 2, for example, or Path of Diablo. Great mods. I've played both of them. But this update here is just an art update, alright? So doesn't really tell us much about the game now, does it? But at least we can take a look-see and see what these artists have in mind and shit. And I actually think it's okay, for the most part. There are a few faults, like here's Lilith, for example. Pretty good villain. Here's the female rogue, I think. What seems to be a female, according to my wicked judgment. Right? And I kind of like the variety that is offered here, where you can change their appearances. And I think these are actually in-game models. So this shit is going to be how she looks in-game. Now, I don't like tattoos and shit on the face, but I mean, it's cool that that's an option, because you're going to have a lot of unique characters, I think, with all this customization. This is something that we haven't seen yet in Diablo. Diablo 1, for example, you had 3 characters, right? The rogue, the warrior, and the sorcerer. And then the monk was later added in a Hellfire expansion that wasn't even made by Blizzard. It was made by Sierra, I think. But that's what you would get. And their visuals would change like only a few times in game, depending on the weapon you had in hand, and depending on your armor set. They each had 3 different tiers of armor visuals. Then Diablo 2 had a similar sort of effect with you couldn't customize your characters. Diablo 3, you couldn't customize your character's look. You could transmog their gear in Diablo 3. I don't really like the idea of transmogging gear, but that shit will probably be in Diablo 4, I would guess. Because then it just, I think it's less unique when you can do that, because you can just make your character look as cool as you want, and the item that you have in hand doesn't affect the perception of what your character is. You know what I mean? Like, if they have a Shaco on in Diablo 2, you know that they have a Shaco in modded Diablo 2 anywhere, where it's actually green, it's actually true to its graphic image. But there are other items that come to mind. Like Tal Rasha's armor, for example, even though it looks like Rattlecage, but it's a purple gothic plate. So they have that shit on. They can't transmog it into anything else. So you know that this character is using Tal Rasha's armor, most likely. So I kind of like the appeal that offers, but whatever. I mean, I don't think this bitch is all that attractive, but nonetheless, the models are pretty cool. Yep. So let's see what else we have here. This is interesting. Check this out. I mean, he's thick as fuck. Now, he's a big motherfucker. And what's cool about this is it showcases how this game is going to have, again, a lot of variety. You know, a lot of choices to be made. Like, this guy gives the imagery that he's from the East. You know what I mean? Desert regions and shit. Just look at his attire. And kind of the style of this. So you're going to get barbarians that are from the East and shit. And you're going to get barbarians that are from the North and shit. And I think that's going to offer a lot of versatility and shit. You know what I mean? I think that's it's a cool addition. because you're really going to be able to distinguish other characters and so forth. Because, you know, older Diablo games, Diablo 2, Diablo 1, you all just look the fucking same. Even if your gear is different, you still look the same in many cases. But it seems that Diablo 3, we're really going to be able to distinguish, you know, who's Iceboy in this mix, in this crowd. You know, and who's these other guys, you know what I mean? Who's Baza? Who's Fart Makaz? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I assume a lot of these guys are going to be playing. But then again, a lot of them might not. And I'm at least anticipating playing Diablo for a short while at the least. You know, I'm definitely going to play through it, hopefully beat it, try, you know, maybe some of the endgame stuff. Ideally, I would like to play it a lot. Similarly to how I play Diablo 2 right now. But it's really setting the bar high to think that that's what it's going to accomplish, because who could really say? You know, a lot of folks were excited for Diablo 3, and look how that turned out. Now here's some imagery that I think is pretty cool. Again, I think that the style here is pretty ugly. But, of course, there's customization, you know, so you can make her more visually appealing. The way I like to play games generally is if I'm going to be staring at a character for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, I prefer them to be a bit more visually appealing. If any of you dogs can make sense of that. I'd rather, you know, be looking at something that I find even attractive than looking at something that I think is ugly as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's kind of important to have the option anyway to have visually appealing characters and even attractive characters in game. When I play as the barbarian, I'll probably want to have a buff as fuck dude. Not because I find that attractive, but because it's kind of the embodiment of the physical prowess that this character exhibits. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the mage or even the rogue, I prefer, this body type is nice. You know, I think that's a great body type. She's not fat as fuck. You know, she looks pretty fit and relatively on the thin side, which I think is a damn good thing. So at least they did that shit right, and I'm actually kind of surprised. Hopefully it stays this way, and hopefully you're going to have all sorts of options to, you know, customize their face, their hair. Like I said, I don't really like tattoos on bitches. Maybe that's just, I know a lot of guys are with me on that, actually. Let me know in the comments below your preference on that. Do you like tattoos on bitches? I don't like any fucking tattoos, so I'll probably have it all, you know, cleaned up and shit. Maybe a little bit of makeup, I don't know, but yeah, it's cool how there's a lot of customization here. And this is just showcasing some of the armor types, and look at the detail here. And I think this is how it's going to look in game. You're going to be able to zoom in on this bitch and see her facial features. I think I read something along the lines of how these character in-game models are going to be the actual models used in many of the game cinematics. So if you have a customized out character, it's not just going to show some generic model of them in many of the cinematics, but it's actually going to show your unique character. So that's good news, I think. That'll be interesting. So we have some videos here. This looks pretty good. Crossbow. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. See, that chick, she looks pretty good. I don't see tattoos and shit. This one's interesting. Looks like Robin Hood. You know what I'm saying? The whole, not the male version, but the whole. We got some Mortal Kombat looking shit here. Fuck. All stealthy and shit. Yeah, this is... I'm liking the variety here. So this is really giving out the, like the nature of a rogue-like character. Check out that bow. The hood kind of reminds me of Diablo 3, like the Demon Hunter. Visually, that's a good thing, but everything, for any other reason, it's probably not. Some thicker armor. Big ass longbow. Yeah, look at the face. I think the face on that one looks nice. The eyes look fucked up on this one, but that's just choice. You know, it gives you a lot of choice. That bow looks badass. Check this one out. It's like some scorpion shit or something. Some Mortal Kombat shit. Alright, and here's another one. The Barbarian. So they have two showcases here. Like I said, if I'm playing as the Barbarian, I'm probably going to play as the male. This looks cool. And I believe that's the male, right? I don't really know, actually. Maybe it wasn't. But I know a lot of you dogs prefer the female Barbarian as well. They're just a little bit more thick and shit. I don't like that. I want to play as the male Barbarian. So let me know in the comments what you guys think you'll prefer. But check out these armor options and the weaponry. A lot of variety here, man. Badass looking axe, badass looking helm. Holy shit. That looks cool. Oh shit, these have been the bitches, I think. But nonetheless, okay, here's the dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Some whirlwind and shit. Look at that one. Looks thick as fuck. This one is my favorite. Check that shit out. Some Eastern sort of imagery with his helm. I think has a big ass maul. This one looks badass as well. See these ones I think look really cool. Look at that hog. Hog of a barbarian. Holy shit. But again, this doesn't tell us shit about the gameplay, obviously, so I really don't get excited over this stuff. But I mean, it looks cool, you know? Look at that badass helm. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, I want mine to have that. Hell yeah. Let me know which ones you dogs prefer. I think there's actually one taking a shit. Watch this. See, see, he's taking a shit. Fucker. Right in the middle of the fucking video. But, I mean, just a way to end it, I suppose. But yeah, it's cool, man. That shit looks good. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. There's some other ones that aren't showing up here. What the toad? Okay, here they are. Just some visuals of like the enemies. That one looks disgusting. Kind of like a skeleton king sort of thing right here. And they got some just videos to just showcase their what I think are their in-game models. So looks pretty good. I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Now, when I play Diablo, for example, I don't necessarily like there being a bunch of disgusting shit on the screen all the time. Like, I played some Path of Exile, and there was this part where you're down in, like, some layer of some sort, some underground tunnels with bugs and shit, and there were all these bugs, and it was gross. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want to be staring at that shit for too long, because I like to play these games a lot. And I feel like it starts to break me down a little bit if I'm just staring at this disgusting shit for hours on end. So having a little bit of it, I think, is okay, right? Because you have to have the highs and the lows, you know what I mean? But you also have to have, like, the lush environments and the more visually appealing enemies and things like that to mix it up, you know what I mean? I just don't like ugly as fuck, disgusting as fuck, gory as fuck, bloody as fuck all the time. So it just makes me feel like shit later in the day. And why would I want to feel like shit when I'm trying to enjoy myself playing a game? You know what I'm saying? So let me know what your thoughts are on that. Like, this one's ugly as fuck. But like I said, there's a place for things like this, all right? Like, this is a spider on some fat, grotesque motherfucker. Look at it. He's like controlling him, you know? It's a pretty cool idea. And I think it's all right that this enemy's in the game. Now, I don't want to be looking at nasty shit like this 70, 80, 90% of the time, however. You know, maybe 30 to 50% of the time they'll be ugly as fuck things. But I like to have a lot of the experience to be, like, I like forests and shit, you know what I'm saying? I like things that resemble nature and peace, and maybe even like the snowy environments as well. You know, you got to have the variety, like Mount Iriat not Iriat, like the mountaintop in Act 5 of Diablo 2. The barbarian homelands, you know what I mean? The frozen tundra, things like that. Things that you can just see nature and enjoy it while killing shit. And the shit that you kill doesn't always have to be disgusting, you know? Like, you could have wolves out in the forest. I mean, I like dogs. I don't really want to kill too many wolves, but other things like that, you know? Like zombie wolves that just aren't like extremely grotesque. Or zombie bears, you know? Or skeletons are a good one. Because they're not, like, nasty looking. They're not attractive either. There's something in between, you know? That's why the skeletons are really appealing and shit. That's kind of what started the Diablo franchise, is you walk into the cathedral in Diablo 1, and some of the first enemies that you fight are skeletons. So, you know, things like that. This one needs work. All right, this is a succubus. Now, what do succubuses do? What's in their nature? Well, it's to entice men, okay, with their attraction. This bitch is ugly as fuck. So, there's room, I think, to have a couple decent-looking bitches in this game. Let me know in the comments if you guys are with me on this. I mean, the embodiment of a fucking succubus is to be attractive and to lure men in, all right? These are the entities that, like, mythologically or whatnot, captivate men to such a degree that they'll ruin their lives over it. You know, this is what brings kings down and shit, all right? This bitch isn't gonna bring a king down by her look. She's ugly. Her body's okay, but, you know, make her attractive in the face. I mean, make her hot as fuck, to be honest with you guys. Thin her out just a little bit more. Get rid of the tattoos and shit. You know, give her nice hair, you know, thick, grown out hair. You know what I mean? Don't give her just this pale ass dead complexion either. Give her something better than that. Have a variety of them though, but she has to be attractive, okay? And I shouldn't even have to say, you know, well, what is attraction, Iceboy? Because there should be something, I think, embedded in our nature where we can decipher in general what something attractive is. You know what I'm saying? There's like a natural imperative, and it's been perhaps proven throughout the ages, but make this bitch attractive is the bottom line. That's really one of the few critiques that I have over all this stuff, because this stuff looks pretty damn good with the customization and all that, and the enemies look cool. Like I said, have a few enemies that are more in the medium of not being so disgusting, but still being somewhat formidable and frightening. But yeah, the succubus, man, that needs work. Let me know if you guys are with me on that. Because there's like 98, 99% of guys throughout who knows how many centuries would probably be able to pinpoint on a list of who are the more attractive females on this list. You know what I'm saying? And they'll generally gravitate toward certain features. So that's what I'm alluding to here. You know, pay attention to those certain features. And there's studies and shit on this, all right? You should Google it if they're still available to be seen, which they might not be, but nonetheless, there are certain features that they gravitate toward, all right? tighten that skin out. Give that a tight ass. You know, thin out them legs. You know, nice, firm, round titties. You know, soft facial features. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. You know, the thick hair. You know, the nice feminine eyes. You know, things like that. All right? So make the succubi hot as fuck. Really. And that's really the one entity, I think, in the game that can justifiably be hot as fuck. If they change that, then I think we're going to be in pretty good territory here. This is just a badass armor set. So that must be an enemy, actually. That looks cool. Yeah, that looks really good. Holy shit. Holy shit. Look at that badass weapon. God damn. So this is a little less grotesque, alright? Pretty cool enemy here. Like in Diablo 2, for example, you have the fallen rogues, right? And they're actually kind of attractive as well, similar to the succubus. So I think it's nice having a variety. Like, this thing is still ugly as fuck. There's definitely a place in the game for this sort of enemy. But you also have to have some that are just more grounded in reality. All right, like you have with some stretch of the imagination. All right, like things that you might actually see out in the wild, like in Diablo 2, like if we lived in a fantastical land or whatnot. You have the Yetis, you know, big, thick, strong as fuck Yetis. They're buff as fuck. And furry, you know, so there's a lot of fur. So they're not ugly and grotesque looking. They're just hairy beasts, you know. Things like that, I think, the game needs. All right, so that might be about it. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about all these visuals so far. And are you with me on some of my criticisms? Yeah, this is looking really good, dog. This shit's looking really good. You know, some barbarian from the east and shit. Yeah, I think that's appealing. This bitch is old, but I think this is the mage. Or the wizard. Which I like the body type. You know, I'm actually pretty fucking impressed that Blizzard went with, like, this sort of body type. This is great. Because that gives us something to work with. And we can, you know, make her how we want her in the face and shit. And the same goes with the guys, right? But, yeah, look at this motherfucker. This is Toad. And he's thick as fuck. Yeah, this is... I'm surprised they did that. You know, I'm surprised that they made this guy masculine as fuck. But... yeah, this is going to be... I'm really looking forward to trying this game out, alright? I mean, really, I'm holding out, man. But I got high hopes, though. You know, I'm thinking I'm going to play a lot of this game. With Diablo 3, I probably put 800 or 900 hours in before I realized the game was shit. But halfway through, I started to realize it, all right? But I was in denial. So at about 300 or 400 hours, I was like, this game, this isn't like Diablo 2. But I was like, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I just have to keep acting like this game is good. So then I put another 400 or 500 hours in. And then I realized there were a lot of you guys still playing Diablo 2. I was like, shit, I didn't know we could do that. So I started looking into it. I was like, shit, these servers are still up? I was like, fuck it, I'm going to play. I'm going to give it a shot again. And all of a sudden, it was a very rude awakening at first because the screen was just a square. The graphics looked like shit. I was like, oh my God. But I gave it a couple hours. And then I got hooked. And I was like, holy shit, this game is epic. I was like, there it is. That's back to where I was when I started. Back in the day when Diablo 2 came out. I was like, this is a damn good game. And since then, that's all I've been playing. I jumped on Diablo 3 a few times in the ladder reset. Played for about 10 or 12 hours and then quit. After you beat the game, they give you the set that your entire build is built around your set, and then you get the thousands of percentage points of increase in damage, and then you just quit. You know, it's just such a massive power creep. You don't feel those minor tweaks that you feel in Diablo 2 when you're finding things, and the item hunt isn't there. You're not looking for runes that make game-altering items. You know, you're not looking for things that break immunities, because shit, there aren't even any immunities in Diablo 3. But these complaints are just, they just touch on the surface of things, you know? There's a lot of depth as to why Diablo 3 is a shitty game compared to Diablo 2. But I anticipate I'm going to play Diablo 4 a lot, and I'm hopeful that since now there's Path of Exile as competition, you know, when Diablo 3 came out, there was far less competition in the action RPG isometric view genre, right? But now there's a lot of competition, so I think Blizzard knows they have to work at this. They can't just make it a simple game that toddlers can play like Diablo 3. You know, they have to have the simple to start but difficult to master. You know what I mean? Something like that. And they have to have a lot of depth in the itemization and endgame. At the least in the itemization. And some PvP. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this shit in the comments below. And I'll talk to you all soon. Peace be with you. Become a patron if you want. Links in the description below. What the fuck?